Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Man's Search for Meaning. By Viktor Frankl. Summarized by ChatGPT. Illustrated by Midjourney.
Man's Search for Meaning is a book written by Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and neurologist who was imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps during World War II. In this book, Frankl describes his experiences as a concentration camp prisoner and the psychological strategies that he developed to survive in such a hostile environment. The book is divided into two parts. The first part chronicles Frankl's experiences in the concentration camps, and the second part outlines his theoretical approach to psychology, which he calls logotherapy. In the first part of the book, Frankl describes how he and his fellow prisoners were stripped of their identities and reduced to mere numbers. He explains how the Nazis used various techniques of dehumanization to break down the prisoners' spirits and crush their will to live. Despite the constant threat of death and the inhumane conditions of the concentration camps, Frankl managed to find meaning and purpose in his life. He writes, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Frankl's experiences in the concentration camps led him to develop his theory of logotherapy, which posits that the primary motivational force in human beings is not pleasure or power, but the search for meaning. Frankl argues that we can find meaning in our lives even in the midst of suffering and despair. He writes, "The meaning of life is not what happens to us, but what we make of what happens to us." Logotherapy emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for our own lives and creating meaning in our own unique ways. One of the key concepts in logotherapy is that of the will to meaning. Frankl argues that this innate human drive is what allows us to overcome even the most difficult circumstances. He writes, "Man is not fully conditioned and determined but rather determines himself whether he gives in to conditions or stands up to them." This idea is closely related to the concept of resilience, which is the ability to bounce back from adversity and continue to thrive. Another important aspect of logotherapy is the idea that suffering can have a positive impact on our lives. Frankl writes, "What is to give light must endure burning." He argues that by enduring suffering and overcoming adversity, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. This idea is particularly relevant in today's world, where many people are struggling with mental health issues and the effects of trauma. Frankl also emphasizes the importance of relationships and social connections in our lives. He writes, "Love is the only way to grasp another human being in the innermost core of his personality." He argues that our relationships with others are a source of meaning and purpose in our lives, and that by cultivating these relationships, we can find a sense of belonging and fulfillment. Throughout the book, Frankl uses personal anecdotes and philosophical insights to illustrate his ideas. He draws on a wide range of sources, from the works of Nietzsche and Freud to his own experiences in the concentration camps. He also emphasizes the importance of creativity and self-expression in finding meaning in our lives. He writes, "Ultimately, man should not ask what the meaning of his life is, but rather must recognize that it is he who is asked." In a word, each man is questioned by life, and he can only answer to life by answering for his own life. In conclusion, Man's Search for Meaning is a powerful and inspiring book that has touched the lives of millions of readers around the world. Through his experiences in the concentration camps and his theoretical insights into human psychology, Viktor Frankl provides a unique perspective on the nature of human suffering and the search for meaning in our lives. His ideas are relevant not only to those who have experienced extreme adversity, but to anyone who is seeking to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. The book is a testament to the human spirit and its ability to endure even the most difficult circumstances. Frankl's message is particularly relevant today, as many people struggle to find meaning and purpose in a world that can seem overwhelming and chaotic. Through his concept of logotherapy, he offers a framework for understanding how we can create meaning in our lives and find a sense of purpose even in the face of adversity.
When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. Don't aim at success. The more you aim at it and make it a target, the more you are going to miss it. For success, like happiness, cannot be pursued, it must ensue, and it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself or as the byproduct of one's surrender to a person other than oneself. Happiness must happen, and the same holds for success. You have to let it happen by not caring about it. I want you to listen to what your conscience commands you to do and go on to carry it out to the best of your knowledge. Then you will live to see that in the long run, I say, success will follow you precisely because you had forgotten to think about it. Gently hit the like and subscribe button for more summaries.
Thanks for staying till the end.